everyone, my name is Iman.
And I'm Amal.
And welcome back to another episode of Weird and Wonderful. Amal was just saying earlier today that our show is 80% weird, 20% wonderful.
That's the ratio.
That's the ratio. So today we are talking about relationships and friendships when you're traveling.
Yay.
Alhamdulillah, we have been very blessed to have been able to travel quite a little bit in our very short lives. And a mixed bag. Some good experiences.
Yeah.
Some not so good experiences.
Yeah.
And today we're kind of like covering sort of the etiquette that you have when you're traveling with friends and family, and maybe the what to do's and the what not to do's.
Right.
So I can kick us off.
Go ahead.
Because again, like as we've learned from previous episodes,
Iman's the one with more negative experiences.
I have broken many friendships. So I would say, okay, so I think if I had to think of like one relationship that really suffered because of a trip, would be with my friend Lucy.
Right.
That we mentioned
in a previous episode.
If that one comes up before this, if it doesn't, then you'll know what I'm
Just
talking about when that episode comes out. Lucy and I were good university friends.
Oh, Lucy is not her real name.
It's not. But I think if she watches this, she knows that it's her. But I doubt she watches our stuff. Anyway, Lucy. Okay, so Lucy and I were very good university friends. We were in the same course. We were super tight, like as tight as can be. And I decided to go on a trip to visit our aunt, who was staying in Austria. We were going to go to Vienna together. I was going to go to Vienna alone. So I said to Lucy, hey, Lucy, like, come on the trip with me. I think it'll be so much fun. The only thing is that it was over Christmas break. Right. So she celebrates Christmas with the family. But she said, you know what? This is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Let's go.
Right.
So she missed out Christmas and spent Christmas with me in Austria.
Right.
And we're super excited. I planned the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's just me. I'm a planner by like nature. I plan all our trips.
Yeah. And I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. I was waiting for
because
that.
Because I hate planning.
I love planning. So I planned this entire trip and it went pretty bad.
Right.
She and I just did not see eye to eye on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Even though I was like, okay, we're doing this, this, and this on this day. Are you okay with that? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. But then the day would come and she would be really unhappy and like complain and be like, oh, I don't want to eat here. I want to eat there. And the other thing too is that she had some dietary restrictions. Mm-hmm. Like obviously for us, it was like halal, right? So there were certain things that like obviously I couldn't eat. But for her, she was like vegan, mm-hmm. like strict vegan.
Right. So that's
just like a double whammy, like halal and vegan, mm-hmm. you know?
Well, technically you could just eat what she ate though, right?
I guess her vegan, it was like a sect of veganism.
Okay.
So she also didn't eat like gluten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and it also made me feel bad because obviously staying with our aunt, it was like something else I had to tell our aunt, right, like, oh, I'm so sorry, like my friend, she's vegan and she also doesn't eat gluten. So I felt bad that our aunt had to like
do that,
figure out how to feed her.
Right.
You know, when she was already very welcoming that we're staying at her home. So she just complained a lot during the trip, like saying that she didn't want to do this or she didn't want to do that. And I felt like I really had to baby her throughout the trip.
Right.
Like, hey, Lucy, like I have your passport, or here's your ticket, or do you have enough money, or this and that. And I think the other thing also that dampened it was at that time I didn't have a credit card. Mm-hmm. So, and she did. Mm-hmm. So for a lot of the stuff, like she paid first, and even like some of my shopping, like she paid for it. And I felt like looking back, I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Like I should have, if I didn't have the money for it, or I didn't have a card, I shouldn't have bought it.
Right. So that was your fault.
That was my fault.
Right.
And this sounds so stupid. And it was funny because we actually went on a little like day trip. Mm-hmm.
To like a different state.
To a different city.
And
we were just hanging out in like the hotel room or something like that, I can't remember. And then she had a computer on her and asked her if I could use her computer to send an email to someone. And she said, sure. So she gave me her computer. And when I opened it, she had actually, and it was just the first thing that I saw, she had actually sent an email to her parents telling her like what a bad time she's having.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
And yeah, I think I didn't tell you. And I was like, oh man, like firstly I felt bad that she wasn't having a good time.
Right.
And then I felt anger, like, hey, like I feel like I'm doing so much to make sure that you're having a good time. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, like, I'm annoyed that you're annoyed. You know? So it was, but I couldn't like confront her about it.
Of course.
Because at that time also I was, you know,
course, yeah.
I'm not the Iman I am today. You know, I was a bit more like passive aggressive. I'm still passive aggressive.
You are.
Anyway, I didn't talk to her about it, and I just like closed one eye and just pretended whatever. And I think because I knew that she sent that email, it also made me treat her a little bit differently.
Right.
I was more now lantak lah, whatever lah. There's nothing that I can do to obviously make this trip good for you, so whatever. And at the end of 2 weeks, we went back home.
And you never spoke to each other again.
And we never spoke to each other again. She dropped me off at my house after the airport. And
that's
bye
it.
bye, Lucy. And it makes me feel bad, obviously, when I think about it. There's maybe lots of other things that I should have done differently. But yeah, that was a friendship that I lost over travel.
Right. And that is very common, apparently.
Is it?
I mean, it's never happened to me, but it's common because it puts you in a, like, I read this thing where it says that you never really know a person until you go through 4 things with them, and one of them is travel.
What are the other 3 things?
I think it's like having money problems or something. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
like, one of them
travel.
was travel, and I was like, yeah, because it tests you because you're out of your regular life, you're out of your, regular environment, and you're
everything is
to,
on a microscope.
Yeah, and then you're staying with this person. You're literally with them for the entire duration of the trip because you're staying most possibly in the same room and everything. So you get to see these things that you've never seen before, and you might not have wanted to see.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe sometimes like bedtime habits, like this person doesn't take a shower before they sleep, or you know, things like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of changes your perspective of them because you get to see all these things when you're traveling. Yeah. So
so what do? Do we just not travel with our friends to save friendship?
I guess maybe you have to make the call before you go traveling with them. You kind of have to see, like, is this a person who I think, I mean, obviously you can never 100% know, right? But like it's you have to make a call, you know, and then you have to also be willing to let go of things before you go on the trip. You have to psych yourself up. You're like, okay, I'm going to be traveling with these people, and they might be doing things that I don't like, or I might have to do some things like go here or go there. I don't want to go there, but because they want to go there and we're all on this trip together, we're all going to have to compromise. So I'm going to have to psych myself up. I'm like, okay, I have to compromise on that and that and that. Yeah.
Do you think like friends who travel together, before they do, have to like sit down for a meeting together and it's like, okay guys, if this and this happens, like if you get annoyed, you know, let's lay it all out on the table before we go, and I want you to know that these are my bad habits, so if this does happen, I appreciate if you tell me and not like keep it to yourself, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's great if you could do that, you know, get it all out on the table. But also depends on your friends, because some people, sometimes for me, in my experiences, like I've never had to do that, but like along the way, like for instance, like first night, I'm like, okay guys, here's the thing, I snore, so like if you guys need to wake me up, just wake me up, you know, like it as the situations come up, that's when, you know, open communication, whatever you call it.
But you have generally had good,
alhamdulillah, I've traveled with people that I'm already close to, and I've also traveled with people that once I had gone on a road trip with 3 people. 2 of them I knew from school, but we weren't friends, and the other girl, I never met her before. But alhamdulillah, that was a very, very good trip.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't that was the only time.
People you don't.
That's the only time I've ever done that.
After Lucy, I've been so careful.
Yeah.
I think after Lucy, I've only ever traveled with like family. Because you guys are like stuck with me. There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing.
I can't ditch you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
I see, the thing is that because I'd been in Canada, right?
Right.
And then I left Canada, and then I went to go do my master's in another country.
Right.
And I didn't know anybody, but I knew these girls from school, like way back before everybody
in Malaysia,
flew off.
school
in Malaysia. And I had always wanted to go to this country. Like I really wanted to go, but I knew it was impossible because like there's nobody to go with, and you can't go to places alone. You know, you're a girl.
Need at least one person.
You know, you're a brown girl wearing a hijab. You know what I mean? I mean, like, That's just the reality of it, you know. And just, I mean, not even the brown and the hijab thing. I'm just a girl,
right?
You know, and that in itself is already dangerous.
You're a woman.
Okay, sure. I'm really not. Anyway, what was that? Right. So I really wanted to go. I was willing to do this, and these girls needed a fourth person, and I was like, sign me up. I want to go because I'm just not really an adventurous person. So this was my attempt. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to travel. I'm going to go somewhere just once. And yeah, alhamdulillah, I managed to go to this place. And we all worked really well together, alhamdulillah. Like, we had like a Skype meeting beforehand. We're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. So I don't drive, okay? And the cheapest option was to get a manual car. So only one of us could drive. So she drove a total of like almost 24 hours because the whole trip was just a road trip. Wow. And I respect that. You know who you are if you're listening. Like, I respect you so much. You were so patient, and she drove the whole way, and I was the co-pilot because I felt bad because I couldn't drive. The other two could drive, but they only drove auto, so they couldn't drive either. So I was like, you know what? I feel so bad that I cannot contribute here. So I was her co-pilot. I sat in the passenger seat and I stayed up with her as we drove at night. The other two were sleeping in the back.
Great contribution.
Yeah, you know, I did get us lost twice.
Can you tell the story? I think it's so funny.
Okay, so we arrived at like 12 midnight and we got a GPS. It came with the car. We had to pay a bit extra. And actually, they didn't give it to us. We had to drive back and like, hey, we paid for a GPS, and they gave us GPS. Yeah, so I put in the name. Okay, this place, it was Iceland, okay?
Reykjavik.
So, yeah, Iceland has very like, the names are really long and like they're not pronounceable to people who are not from that region. You know, it was very difficult.
Beautiful country though.
Beautiful, alhamdulillah, mashallah. Yeah, so I put in the name of where we were supposed to go. And we drove 6 hours in the wrong direction. And this was winter. So sunrise was only at 11. So we drove a.m. So we drove from 12 midnight to like about 6-7 o'clock in the morning, and it's pitch black, and there's nobody in Iceland. Okay, guys, like there's nobody on the road.
It's not you can stop and ask a farmer.
Yeah, there's nobody. So we got to this place, and then I realized, oh my god, it is my fault that my poor friend here, this friend that I literally met a day ago, that she drove 6 hours in the wrong direction.
MashaAllah,
but she was not nobody was angry at me. Everyone, well, the other two at the back were like too sleepy to like
care.
But yeah, but she was so patient, and she was like, yeah, you know, that's fine. And I put in the right thing, and literally we were supposed to be here, and I had gone like all the way north the other way anyway. So that happened, but the hikmah behind it is that when we drove the 6 hours in the right direction, it was daylight, so we actually got to see the views.
MashaAllah.
And the mountains were like so pretty, mashallah. Like everything was just so, I mean, I didn't say that out loud because just in case the other three girls were like, oh my god, you did this. Because so by the time we reached our actual destination, the sun was already setting because it set at like 3 p.m. But yeah, no, this whole trip we were all
in sync.
We all in sync, and the girl who's driving, she was just under pressure because there were many times. There was a time when we got stuck, a time when the car couldn't start. She was so calm. If it was you, oh my god, Iman, you would have like flipped your SHIT. Like seriously.
I was just gonna say, Amal, if that was me, if you were my co-pilot and you made me drive 6 hours the wrong way, I would have stuck you in the boot.
I know, you definitely would have.
I would have like
but see, the thing is, because you're my sister. See, also the four of us, we're not super close. Well, the other two, maybe the three of them were kind of, I'm not sure. But like for me, I was definitely like a newcomer, the outsider kind of thing. And I guess that was, all four of us were still trying to keep that peace. We're all playing our role. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Even if you weren't my sister, if it was another friend that did it, that made me drive 6 hours the wrong way, I would have like not talked to her maybe like for a good 3 hours while I was driving in the right direction.
She was so calm. Like I still tell this story to people to like explain how uncalm I am. But yeah, so that was a really good trip, alhamdulillah.
How do you, like when you travel with friends or even family, what kind of role do you take on personally? Because obviously when it's a trip just by yourself, obviously you have to plan everything.
Right.
But when other people are involved, are you more of like the planner? Are you the freeloader? Are you like the peacekeeper? What kind of roles do you think you take on?
With family, maybe I'm the freeloader. Do you think so?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Because I hate planning. Like, I hate looking up prices. And you seem to enjoy that, you know, like a ridiculous amount.
It is one of my life passions.
Yeah. So, I mean, like,
trips.
you have everything. You got it. Like, I feel like if I were to help, I'd just slow you down.
You would.
So, yeah. So, that's why, like, I mean, and you do it. When I say you do everything, you mean you plan everything. You make the itinerary and everything. And you genuinely, if you did not enjoy it, I would help you. But you genuinely
love it.
So, there's nothing much else to do.
I'm thinking that if whatever I'm doing now doesn't work out, I may be a travel agent.
Yeah.
I think I would love
and I
that.
think you'd do a really good job. So, like, when we're actually on the trip, there's not much for us to do except for actually do the trip, you know, and you'd already planned the day and everything, so we just go. And like for us, like in our family, every morning we have a mushwarat. We all come sit down together and we're like, okay, what do you guys want to do today? Like, we always do that, like even on a regular weekend. So that's kind of like regular family practice. So like, but then with friends,
to make sure the day goes smoothly.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no misunderstandings and everything.
And everyone gets to say what they want to do. So we
and
take into consideration what everyone wants to.
Yeah, and then we make some sort of compromises here and there. Like, oh, maybe we can do that tomorrow. Yeah, so we have that system. But like with friends, we don't have that system, right?
And
it's
why not? Like, I think we should. I think it would, make
definitely.
everyone feel more comfortable.
Yeah. But
well,
like,
maybe on our next friend trip. Whenever that will be.
Whenever that will
Never.
Yeah, no,
what role do you take on?
When I'm a friend.
Yeah. Let's disregard family for a while, because, you know.
That's a good. We've been traveling with family since we were whenever, right? Anyway, yeah. So with friends, I think, I mean, this particular Iceland trip, I felt bad because I could not drive, so I felt like I had to. So I booked all the accommodation.
Oh, okay.
Which. So I had to stay like 3 different places. The first one was like a hair salon / like, it was the reception was in a hair salon.
Okay.
And it's just like rooms at the side.
Okay.
The toilet was good, so that was fine. But it was a bit odd. But it was fine.
Did any of you get your hair done?
No, they even had like tanning beds and stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, no, we did not. Yeah, that was weird.
Wait. Was this an Airbnb? Like,
it
you booked
was
it through Agoda?
no, it was like a hotel booking.com or hotel.com. I can't remember.
So it's legitimate.
Yeah, it's legitimate, but it was just strange.
Okay.
You know? And then the second one that I booked was like a little cottage on the outside. It was outside, so I thought it'd be nice. It was like a cute little cabin, right? But when we got in, the last person, they did not clean it after the last person.
Oh, that sucks.
And also, it's not like a hotel. There was nobody at the reception, whatever. It's literally just a cabin. You go, you take the key from the little box outside. Yeah. So that was a bit of a letdown. And I felt bad. I feel like a lot of the things that went, you know, not say bad on the trip, but like, you know, the 6 hours in the wrong direction. The weird, I mean, like this cabin literally had like a piece of like stale toast on the floor.
Oh no.
Yeah,
on the floor.
On
not
the
even
floor.
Like okay.
Yeah, so that was totally my fault. But our last Airbnb, that was good though.
Did you book it?
I did.
Okay.
So like there's solace there. Yeah, so we all kind of just split our, nobody had to say like, oh, can you book this, everybody volunteered, and we all kind of had equal, like one person did the itinerary, one person did book the activities, and she was the one who drove, and then one did the flight tickets and I did the accommodation. So like it just sort of went smoothly from the get-go. Yeah, so all the other I haven't traveled with friends though. I think I've had like 3 trips with friends, and alhamdulillah, they all went okay. And yeah, it's the same for each of them. We all kind of volunteered for enough jobs that it seemed equal in terms of planning. Yeah.
I think just for me, obviously I'm just a very high-strung person.
Yes.
I'm naturally a very high-strung person. I don't want to say I enjoy getting stressed, but it's a position that I find myself in a lot of the time. So even like with planning trips, like with friends, with family, I always you
take charge because you can't relinquish control.
Yeah, I don't like giving up control, and I again, like, I enjoy planning it, but at the same time, like, I need to make sure that everything is like clockwork. Like, I'm the captain, like, this is my ship, like, follow me or don't follow me, my way or the highway kind of thing.
Good luck for the rest of your life.
So
it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. So even when we are like, I will like booking a family trip, I'm the one like booking the flight tickets, the hotels, the itinerary, where we're gonna eat, who's gonna stay in what room, who's bringing this and bringing that, and it's a responsibility that I put upon myself, but as I'm getting older, I find that I don't enjoy it as much.
Right.
Because it's very like tiresome.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, for me, as a person of your family, whenever we do have these things, like I said, because you do all these things, not to say I freeload, but I'm like, okay, she seems to be enjoying it. Like, what else is there for me to do?
Sometimes I do get upset. Like, how come everyone else doesn't want to do this or help with that?
See, but then the when you don't let us.
Yeah, and then when you do it, I'm like, oh my God, it's so bad. I should have just done it myself.
That's the thing. You have to lower your standards.
Or you can get to my standard.
But not everybody is like that. You know, some of us are slobby, okay? I'm not slobby, but you get my point.
Yeah, I guess. I think also when you travel, like you tend to see people's standards even more.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I've never stayed at a hostel. And not saying that hostels are bad. Hostels are great. Like I've seen a lot of, nice
I've had
photos
some pretty good experiences.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. I made friends, bathrooms clean and everything. It's great.
Yeah, no, I need, which is awesome. I wish like I could let go of my high-strungness, my hung-strungnity. I don't know if that's a word.
It's not.
Okay. To be more open to staying at these places.
Yeah.
But I just
totally get it. Like I admit it. I'm a spoiled brat. Sometimes I need the bathroom to be okay and the bed has to be clean. I have stayed in some questionable hostels, but that's the thing though. I am a spoiled brat, but if it comes down to it, I will do it.
I have had the reputation of going somewhere and looking around being like, I can't stay here. And I will go and I will get another hotel.
Where did that happen?
In Maldives.
Oh, well, that was
bad.
Okay, I wouldn't. Yeah, okay, I would have done the same thing as you. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
that is my problem.
So basically, I just think that when you go traveling, especially with friends, everybody just has to be in the mindset that okay, this is going to be a giant compromise. Everybody's paying money for this trip. Nobody's wants are more important than the other.
Correct.
Yeah, you just have to go in like that, and if you catch yourself complaining all the time, just stop.
You gotta stop. And
I feel like I have done that before, and I just had to like, okay, sorry, I didn't mean that.
And I think it's really important sometimes, obviously when you're in the heat of the moment, this person's annoying you, or things they didn't work out on the trip as much as you wanted it. It's good to just maybe take a step back and be like, I am never going to be in this situation again. I don't know if I'm going to be in this situation again at this place with these people.
Right.
I need to chill out.
Yeah. And remember, you paid money for the trip, so just enjoy it.
And just relax and just enjoy it. I think I wish I had told old Iman to just chill.
Just chill out, man.
Oh my gosh, Iman, like future Iman, if you're watching this, you're still not chill enough. Like, be more chill.
I can vouch for that.
I think travel, mashallah, is such a blessing. It's such a great opportunity. Not a lot of people get to go on trips to see the world. It's such a big, beautiful, magical world. When you're on that trip, enjoy it as much as you can. Yeah. Because you never know when you're going to go back to see it again.
Yeah. And to anyone I've traveled with before, I'm sorry if I was a pain in your butt. I don't think I was, but if I was, I'm sorry.
To anyone that I've traveled with, it's your fault. You should have been. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. To anyone that I have traveled with as well, I'm really sorry that I was not more chill. And obviously, if you want to go do it again, let's go travel together again.
Don't. Anyway, so if you have any funny stories that you'd like to share with us regarding travel with friends and whatnot, leave a comment below and stay tuned for our next episode. Thanks for watching.
See you guys soon. Assalamualaikum.